Okay, let's dive straight in. We're looking at Kraken today, the major crypto exchange.
Yeah, they're making some waves, launching tokenized stock trading.
Tokenized stocks. So explain that a bit. We're talking digital versions of real shares.
Exactly. Think of owning a piece of Apple or Tesla, but it's represented by a token on a blockchain. These tokens aren't just symbolic. They represent actual shares.
Like a digital twin for a stock. Got it. And for this deep dive, we really want to unpack what this means for you, the listener. How could this actually change accessing and trading stocks?
Right. And it's not a small test run either.
No, they're starting with what, over 50 stocks and ETFs, including those huge ones you mentioned, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Microsoft. Quite a list.
Mm-hmm. So we know what they are, but maybe talk about how it functions, the mechanics behind it.
Sure, so these tokens, they're backed one-to-one, right, by the actual physical shares.
That's crucial, yeah.
Mhm.
Held in custody, importantly, by properly regulated financial institutions. So there's real backing there.
And I think this is where it gets really interesting for a lot of people, the trading hour.
Oh, absolutely. Forget 9:30 to 4 Eastern. This is 247 trading.
Imagine wanting to trade, I don't know, Microsoft at midnight, your time. You potentially could.
Right.
That's a huge shift.
It really is.
Mm.
So beyond just how it works, what about the bigger picture, the strategy?
Well, one angle is definitely global accessibility. Think about investors in regions where getting direct access to U.S. stocks is difficult or complicated.
Right. This potentially opens a door for them, a much more direct route to invest in major U.S. companies. It could be a game changer for access.
Yeah, and it's such a clear example of what people call the convergence of DeFi and TradFi, decentralized finance meeting traditional finance.
Definitely. You're applying blockchain features, maybe more user flexibility, that inherent transparency of the ledger, perhaps more direct control, applying that to traditional assets like stocks.
It makes you wonder about the challenge to traditional brokers, too.
Well, yeah. Think about settlement times. TradFi often has that T+2 cycle, right? Trade happens, but it takes 2 days to finalize.
Which ties up capital and involves counterparty risk.
Exactly. Tokenization, in theory, could lead to near-instant settlement. That frees up capital, reduces risk. It's quite fundamental.
And doesn't tokenization also kind of imply fractional ownership becoming easier,
Yeah.
making expensive stocks more reachable?
Potentially, yes. It certainly lends itself well to that model, lowering the barrier to entry for some high-priced shares.
Okay. But it can't all be smooth sailing. There must be caveats, regulations.
Oh, absolutely. That's a big one. The regulatory landscape for securities, especially tokenized ones, is still, well, it's still evolving, and it varies hugely country by country.
Compliance across borders must be a headache.
It's a major hurdle. And that's almost certainly why Kraken has made the call to geo-restrict this. Specifically, U.S. customers won't have access.
Right. So for our listeners in the U.S., just to be clear, this particular Kraken offering won't be available, likely due to navigating those specific U.S. securities regulations.
Correct. They're playing it carefully with existing rules.
Okay, so let's maybe pull this together. Kraken launching tokenized stocks. It feels like a significant step. It uses blockchain to potentially boost global access to stock trading.
Yeah, it really merges those traditional and decentralized finance concepts we talked about.
Yeah.
You get the potential for 24/7 trading, maybe easier access for many outside the U.S.
It does leave you thinking, though.
What's that final thought?
Well, just something for you, the listener, to mull over. How might this ability to trade tokenized assets, potentially around the clock, across borders, how could that reshape your whole idea of market access?
Right. What new strategies or opportunities does an always-on global market like that unlock, and how you approach investing down the line? It's definitely something to watch.